Hey guys, so for this video, we will go ahead and do something a little bit different. Um, this lab I downloaded is from Jeremy's IT Lab. It can be found on YouTube or Udemy. It helped me immensely for the CCNA exam. Um, this lab is specifically on how to configure static routes. So that is what we're going to do. Um, Now, in a real world scenario, if this was over the internet, it wouldn't work just because we would have to configure NAT. But since this is just a lab demonstration, I will show you how to configure the static routes and the devices. So let's go ahead and do that. We will start with step one. Configure the PCs and routers according to the network diagram. Remember to configure the gateway on the PCs. You don't have to configure the switches. Okay, so what we're going to do is start off with PC1. Move this out of the way. All right, so we will configure a default gateway for this. So 192.168.1. And what do you think would be the default gateway for this network? And what we're looking for is where's this network's connection to the internet? If you said 192.168.1.254, this interface, you were correct. So that's what I'm going to say, 254. And then to configure an IP address on computer, we go to Fast Ethernet, IPv4 address, and we'll type in the network and .1 for this PC. Okay, push tab, and a subnet mask automatically fills here, and that's actually the correct subnet mask that we are going to use for this network. So PC1 is all configured. Let's go ahead and configure now the router device. So enable conf t. Let's go ahead and configure interface G0/1 with the IP address of the network and .254. So let's bring it out of a shutdown state by saying no. Actually, let's go to the interface first. Interface G0/1. We'll say no shut. And then we'll say, okay, the IP address that we would like to use for this interface is going to be 192.168.1.254 or the very last IP on that network. And don't forget to include the subnet mask. Enter. Do right. And what I like to do is let's make sure there's no errors here. Let's make sure router 1 can ping PC1 in this network and vice versa. So I am going to say do ping 192.168.1.1. So there we go. It's perfect. We get 100% success rate. Let's go ahead and make sure PC1 can ping the default gateway, which it should, but let's just, let's just make sure. Okay, it's looking good so far. Okay, before we configure the uh, static routes, let's go ahead and move out of this network and configure the same things, the PC2 and the router on the network of 192.168.3.0. So let's start off here at PC2, configuration. All right, the default gateway of this one is going to be, we're looking for the router interface that is connecting this network to the outside world, basically. So if you said 192.168.3.254, you were correct. 254, there we go. Let's go to Fast Ethernet 0 to configure the actual IP for the computer. So we're going to use a static configuration, IPv4 of 192.168.3.1. Oh, that is not a 3. We'll push tab, and this is a /24, so that's perfect. Let's configure the IP address for the interface on this router that is going to communicate with the network. So interface GO/1. Oh, sorry guys, I did not space it out. Okay. First thing I want to do is say I want to take this interface out of a shutdown, a down position. Let's say no shut. There we go. And then let's configure the IP address for the interface GO/1. 8.3.254. The subnet mask. There we go. Do it right. And let's do the same thing. Let us make sure that this router can communicate with this PC and vice versa. So I'm going to say do ping 192.168.3.1. This should fail the first time. There we go. And we know that works. Let's go ahead and make sure. Uh, ping. And okay, we have communication. That's good. Okay, so we have configured this network and this network. What do you think would happen if PC2 right now tried to ping PC1? Do you think it would work or do you think it would fail? If you said fail, you're correct. We have to configure a route for this network to communicate with this network, and we're going to do that via static routes. So let's go ahead and configure this router here, router 2, command line interface, enable conft or configure terminal. Um, the interface is here, G0/0, and this one, G0/1, are in a down state. Let's bring those both up at the same time. So we can say interface range G0/0 and G0/1, and it's say no shut. Or we can say no shutdown. There we go. They're both up now. Uh, I have to configure this one to be up as well. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So now this interface is ready, and this one is not. So we're gonna have to configure that interface GO/O. I'm gonna say no shut. There we go. Now it's up. I'm also gonna give that interface an IP address. So it's gonna be 192.168.13.3 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Do right. Okay. Let me configure that IP address of G00 heading towards this network. So I'm going to say, I don't want to interface range anymore because I'm about to configure an IP address. I'm going to say IP interface. So I'm going to target this interface, G0/1. And I'm going to say IP address 192.168.13.2. Oh, sorry, I forgot the subnet mask. 255.255.255.0. Okay, that one is configured. Uh, Now let's configure uh, G00. So the interface pointing towards this network. Okay. IP address 192.168.12.2. Subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.0. Also, I know the instructions say to configure host names for the routers. So that's really easy to do. You see R2, we will go to configuration mode and we just type in host name and then R2. And you know if it worked because even on the command line interface, you would see the name change here. And we could do that for all of them. So I'll go here, exit, host name, R1, do right, and router 3, we will exit, host name, 3. Here, oh, for 3. There we go, guys. All right, so all these interfaces are ready to go. Let me make sure I have G00 up. G00 is down. Okay, good. So we can just say interface G00 or shut. Okay, IP address 192.168.12. Let me just double check. .12.1. 255.255.255.0. You're right. Okay. Um, from here, I could ping this router and this router and this router and this router. But if I wanted to ping PC2 to PC1, it still wouldn't work because this router doesn't know how to reach this network. This network doesn't know how to reach this network. So in order for communication to occur here, we had to set up static routes for this router going here, this router going here, this router going to this network and this network. So let's start off with router 1. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to say exit because I want to be in configuration mode. I'm going to say IP route. And then let's see what our options are when we push question mark. Destination prefix. So if you look here at the diagram, what if I'm gonna start at this net, let's say I'm PC1. If I want to communicate with PC2, what is my destination network? Yep. If you said 192.168.3.0, you are absolutely correct. So let's go ahead and say that. 0. We can push question and mark again to see what we need to do. Okay, so destination prefix mask. That's asking you for this right here, this /24. And the /24 is 255, 255, 255, 0. Let's say question mark again. Now it's saying, it says, okay, got it. I know where I want to go, but in order to get there, which um which what which way am I gonna go? So if traffic is coming from here, it's going to go here. See, the very next hop. And that would be 192.168.12.2. So let's go ahead and type that in. There we go. And we can say question mark for anything else, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, we can ignore the distance metric for this route for now. We'll just push enter. So do right. So now router 1 knows it has a method of how to get to this network. But these two routers still need configured. So let's configure this router. So router 3, and it's going to be the same thing. IP route. You can always push question mark, and question mark will give you like a hint of what to do next with the IP route. So it's saying destination prefix. So if I'm this PC, how do I reach, if I'm trying to reach PC1, where exactly am I trying to go? Yep, 192 192.168.1.0. So let's go ahead and type that in. And a slash 24. And then we can push question mark again. It's going to ask us, hey, okay, I see you want to go to this network, but what's the next hop that we're going to use? So we'll push question mark, and that hop is going to be um it's going to be this interface right here, because the traffic's going to go whoop and then into the network that we want. So 192.168.13.2. And we don't have to type in IP subnet mask. We can just leave it like that, enter, do right. Okay, cool. So router 1 has been configured with the route to get to this network. Router 3 is configured with the route to get to this network. But wait a minute, the middleman router, it doesn't know anything right now. So for a situation like this, we need to configure two routes for this router, one leading to this network and one leading to this network. So this is how we will do that. IP route. And let's go back to this network. 192.168.1.0/24. There we go. And then we're going to say, okay, the next hop for this particular route is going to be G00 on the interface router 1. So the IP address of that is going to be 192.168.12.1. Okay, enter. Okay, so a route leading to this network has been configured, but we're not done yet. We still need a route for this network. So let's go ahead and do that. IP route. Where do we want to go? We want to go here, right? So 192.168.3.0, 255, 255, 255.0. And how are we going to get there? So the data is going to go from here to here. So this is going to be our little port of entrance. And the IP address is going to be 192.168.13.3. Push enter, do right. Okay, and let's see if that works. So can the PC and the 192.168.1.0 network ping the PC and the 192.168.3.0 network and vice versa? So I'm going to say ping 192.168.3.1 and expect a few of the ping requests to time out at first. That's perfectly normal. Okay, so here we go. There we go. So two failed, but the last two have successfully went to the next network. I can ping again, and you can see, perfect. Let us make sure though that uh, the same is true for this PC. So we're going to say ping 192.168.1.1. So communication via this PC across the network to the network of PC1. And there you guys have it. How to configure static routes. And a huge thank you to Jeremy for his lab here. I would say if you're really serious about passing the CCNA, definitely give his videos a look up. His labs have been so helpful to me, and the Udemy course, the YouTube video, his actual channel, it's a gold mine of information. Thank you for watching.